Is your data safe? Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside. That smokiness, that goodness, guys, that goodness. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today is let's call it a tech day. We're going to be talking about storage, NASs or network attached storage devices of some kind. And Drobo is one of the major companies out there making these NASs, and they ended up filing for Chapter 11. And this was last year. Well, something came to pass in the last day that doesn't look good. At the time, I did a video talking about this and saying, listen, if you have a Drobo device, you might want to look elsewhere to take all of your data off of the device and place it into another secure location, like another NAS by a different company, because I feared that Drobo would not be bought. And if that was the case, Chapter 11 would end up turning into Chapter 7. Now, there was two articles that I read about this that were really interesting. They did a good job putting this together. And I want to read them to you, or portions of them to you. And then I want to give you my commentary on it. And then also a suggestion of what you could do if you have a NAS that is by one of the major manufacturers. Some of the manufacturers like Drobo have obviously gone from Chapter 11 to Chapter 7. But some other manufacturers like Synology and other big names have had a lot of like zero-day problems where their customers' NAS was injected with malware that caused them to lose everything unless they paid up. I want to tell you about some other options and what I'm using. And matter of fact, the reason why I wrote that book over there, you can probably see it over my shoulder, How to Create a Digital Fort Knox, Backing Up Your Digital Life. The reason I wrote that was basically all around this problem. So anyways, let's get into this article, or these two articles, and then once again, I'll give you my commentary. And finally, I want to know your thoughts, right? What do you use and what are you doing? Are you going to change things up based on this? And if not, why or why not? Anyways, let's get into this article. Now, this is the article that came from Ars Technica. It says this. It says the company posted in January that it had, quote, transitioned to a self-service model. You don't hear nearly as much about Drobo boxes as you used to, especially on sites like Ars Technica. We now have some news, but it isn't good. StoreCentric, the holding company for Drobo and Retrospect brands, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in late June 2022. The bankruptcy shifted from reorganization-minded Chapter 11 to liquidation-focused Chapter 7 late April. Not that long ago. The writing for Drobo was on the wall, or at least on the website. Text at the top of the home page notes that, quote, as of January 27th, 2023, Drobo products and support for them are no longer available. Quote, Drobo support has transitioned to a self-service model. We thank you for being a Drobo customer and entrusting us in your data. Drobo began in 2005 as Data Robotics and launched into tech consciousness with its original Drobo, the storage robot. The marquee feature was being able to hot swap drives of nearly any size without migrating data. This is very important because this is the exact reason why I ended up building an Unraid server. Once again, I talk about it in my book. Very, very important. In our review of the initial $500 Drobo, we like the low management requirements, flexible data protection schemes, and quiet, sleek, and attractive body. Drobo wasn't the fastest or most secure, nor did it sport elegant software, but it was competent, powerful, extensible, and above all, just plain easy. Once again, very, very important. Plug and play. Very, very easy. We'd mentioned the Drobo, a less nerdy and more usable option in occasional reviews and roundups of network-attached storage devices or NAS devices. But cloud storage, streaming media, and a general trend away from huge piles of local files for all but the most specialized hobbies and careers seemingly ate away at Drobo over time. I don't believe that's the reason, but that's what they state. A NAS that wasn't quite a full NAS, but wasn't as easy to use as, say, Backblaze or one of the many S3 resellers, made for a tough pitch for most people considering a consumer data storage device. So that's their take on it. Now, remember, this piece was originated from a piece that was written on Apple Insider. Let me just go through some of this because this gives you more of the, let's say, the heart of the matter, the nitty-gritty. Apple Insider states this: Store-Centric has shifted to Chapter 7 bankruptcy after failing to find a buyer or reorganize its company after COVID-19, leaving Drobo and Retrospect customers without any information. I think it's more than COVID. Drobo and Retrospect are backup solution vendors with combined decades in the industry. Their parent company, Store-Centric, has filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy after COVID-19 disrupted its business. There's more to it, once again. In July, Store-Centric filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That's when I did that original article, which would enable the company to restructure and save its assets, perhaps selling off to a bigger entity. Since then, the company hasn't been able to find a buyer or recover. So, a full liquidation and sell-off is all that's left for the company. There isn't any publicly available information about this move yet, but Apple Insider was tipped off about the event. The tipster says they received an email from Store-Centric stating the Chapter 11 bankruptcy was shifting to Chapter 7 on April 28, 2023. Store-Centric, Drobo, and Retrospect don't show any information about this on their websites. There isn't any information provided about what existing customers should do, but we expect they should look for other solutions. Yeah, that's exactly what I said way back in July. A message on Drobo's website says that as of January 27th, Drobo support and products are no longer available. There is no indication of what will happen to Drobo or its assets in liquidation. Generally, when businesses file for Chapter 7, their assets are sold off piece by piece to pay off debt. Drobo and Retrospect could survive intact, sold to a new company, or be divided up into small pieces and shifted around. Basically, they tried back in July to do the entire Chapter 11 reorganization thing, and they failed. They were not able to do it. The reason they failed is, like we're indicating here, number one, they couldn't find a buyer. No one was to want to buy or to take on probably the negativity of the company, all of the company's debt, right? Because they didn't see enough in the future of sales to be able to justify bringing on that debt. So none of the large organizations like Synology and all the rest wanted that, so they didn't buy it. So once again, Chapter 11 didn't work because, number one, they couldn't reorganize and make a go out of it, and number two, no one would buy it. So it kind of is what it is. Now we're seeing Drobo finally going, quote unquote, bankruptcy for real, literally out of business, gone. You will not see them any longer in the not so distant future after the Chapter 7 bankruptcy is completed. So this is just bad news for the industry as a whole. I hate to see or report on companies going out of business. And Drobo is one of those companies that we interviewed way back in the day when they first came out. Matter of fact, the co-host of the show that we used to do, Digital Photography Cafe, Trevor Current, he uses Drobos. I think he even might have 2 of them. And I remember at the time I used to say, Trevor, why do you use Drobo? Why don't you use something else? And the reason was it was just simply easy to use. You can throw any size drive into the unit and it would just simply work. And that's it. So it was kind of a NAS, but not a NAS. And that is the main reason, matter of fact, why I ended up building an unRAID server. An unRAID array. It's kind of like a RAID or kind of like a NAS, but it's not a NAS because you can use any size drives, you can stick them in, and it will automatically see them, you format them, and it immediately sticks it into use. So it is a very powerful system. It's a little bit slower than a true NAS, by just a touch, but it's more of an archival NAS that just simply works, number 1. Number 2, you can stick any drive in there. It's very easy. Number 3, what's really amazing is if the NAS was to go bad, right, and you had some type of failure, the difference between a NAS like a Synology or one of the other box brands is that those brands use proprietary NAS for the most part, and to get your data out of it will be next to impossible if they went out of business or if the unit failed and you cannot get a replacement card, a controller card for it, for example. Your data is gone. Let's say you have a 5-bay, all 5 drives are gone. In comparison to like an unRAID server, once again, like I wrote about in How to Create a Digital Fort Knox, Backing Up Your Digital Life, where I taught you how to build this literally out of parts that were a decade old. Mine is now running for 2 years and it's still running strong. I might do a video just on that. It's amazing. Anyways, the idea behind this is it's unRAID, it's not a RAID, and it also allows you to use any size drives in it as you wish. You can just stick in a drive, it automatically recognizes, and it'll back up to it. Also, it is not a proprietary architecture. So what happens is if you have 5 drives and 1 fails, guess what? You stick in another hard drive, it syncs them all back up, and there you go. Everything is back to the way it was. You didn't lose anything. Well, how about if 2 drives fail out of that 5-drive NAS? Well, with one of the proprietary-based NAS systems, guess what? 2 drives fail out of the 5, you lose everything. It is all gone. But with the unRAID server, if you lose 2 drives, guess what? You still have 3 drives of data. You could take those drives out, stick them into another computer, and it's all there. In plain English, let's say, bit for bit, it's all there. It's not like encrypted in its own type of algorithmic equations that you don't know what they are and you can't get the data back. Right? So it is very powerful to me to be able to, once again, stick in any size drive at any time. Number 2, if 1 hard drive fails, everything is fine because I stick in a fresh drive and then it syncs up. Everything is copacetic. But also, if 2 fail, I still don't lose everything. I still have 3 drives full of data that's not gone. That was one of the reasons why I ended up building this unRAID server. And once again, that's why I take you through that process step by step and I hold your hand in making it. When the writing was on the wall back in July, I used to tell all the Drobo folks out there, do me a favor, pick another company. You could use my book and build your own with old parts that you have laying around in your garage, or go buy another NAS from a different company, a big box company, and put all of your data on it and do it now. Don't wait. And this is when they were going, or originally going, Chapter 11. I told everyone, listen, do it now. The reason being is you don't know if you're going to lose your data. Is your data safe? And once again, if there is a problem and you can't get into the system because there's no one making that card anymore, the controller card, you can't get your data. So do it now. If you have a Drobo, once again, I'm going to tell you, either build one like I've done or get another one and transfer all of your data off it now. You could keep it on the side if you want as a backup to a backup. And if it goes south, understand that everything on there is going to be lost. You're not going to be able to get it back, right? But no matter what you do, move your data to a secure location because your data is no longer safe. And the whole idea of having a NAS is having your data local to you where it is safe. It is not cold storage, but archival. It is a backup, a local backup. The cold storage would be something that's very similar, but you would take it off-site somewhere. So if there was a fire or something, you would still have that data. You once again have to have 3 forms of data. I won't get into that. Once again, read my book. If you don't want to read the book, I did put together a prologue. Go over to JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. You could download that prologue for free. Go and check that out. Anyways, be cognizant of this, be careful, secure your data, and even if you're using one of the big box solutions like a Synology, like I keep on saying, or any of the other ones that have seen in the recent past direct attacks on them where a lot of their customers have gotten zero-dayed and have malware put onto their data where they can't access their data. A lot of people lost data during this period of time. Be cognizant of this. Sometimes it's better just to make your own, keep it offline, and not deal with these companies because the hackers target these companies. They're not targeting Unraid, and even if they were, you're going to keep it offline unless you're doing an update. Okay? So it's something that I would say just be cognizant of. A lot of these makers are having problems. It might not be a bad idea to build your own. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, throw this video a thumbs up. That would be fantastic. Subscribe to the channel. Click this little button over here so when I go live or when a new video comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. A new video comes out almost every day, sometimes every other day. So there's a lot of content every week. Also, we go live, my wife and myself, on Friday, usually around 8:30 to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So join us, right? We'd love to have you and discuss whatever you want to discuss. It could be photo, video, or tech. Doesn't really make a difference. Also, we're still doing that 3,000 push-up challenge. So if you can donate $1 or $2 to the St. Jude's Research Children's Hospital, please do so. There's a donation button down here. I'm trying to raise $1 per push-up. I'm doing 3,000 push-ups for the month of May. Also, if you're looking for a VPN or faster internet or actually more reliable internet like me, take a look at Speedify. The nice folks over there gave me a promo code that will give you 20% off. Use promo code JCristina at checkout or click the link down below. It'll be in the pinned comment as well as the description. JCristina.com/speed. Once again, JCristina.com/speed, and you will get the 20% just by clicking on it. You don't have to type anything in. That is just simply it. Finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you in the next one. Love you all.